everyone, welcome back to Explode Your Traffic Live, where we are teaching bloggers and entrepreneurs how to grow more traffic on your website and also grow your audience. So I'm Britt Raber, and today I have Janice Wald here, who I'm so excited to be interviewing. She is the founder of mostlyblogging.com and also the co-founder of the Mostly Blogging Academy. Janice has won lots and lots of awards, including most recently, she won Best Internet Marketer and also the Best Blogger Award at last year's Infinity Blog Awards. She's also been nominated the Best Internet Marketer, and she's won the Most Informative Blogger. And she's been featured on lots of different publications, including Small Business Trends, the Huffington Post, and Lifehack, just to name a few. So I'm so excited. Welcome, Janice. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So my first question for you today is, what have you done that's brought the most amount of traffic to your website?
Oh, definitely search engine optimization. It's an absolute must. And sadly, a lot of bloggers make excuses not to use it. For instance, they think it's overwhelming or complex or too complicated to understand, but it really isn't, especially once you get in the habit of doing your keyword research. It becomes routine. And I mean, even formulaic for people that like math, but I was never a strong math student, but I know how to use a keyword research tool. And so once I got going, I found it pretty easy. And the resulting traffic is really worth the while. When I first started blogging in 2014, I had this idea of, I'd put out a blog post, people would come and read. And unfortunately, that's just not the way it worked. And it wasn't until I compared SEO referrals, Google referrals to my site with that of another blogger that I began to realize I was getting far less search traffic than other bloggers. And that's when I started learning about how to do keyword research and learning, once I found that keyword, how to optimize my content with it. And the resulting traffic comes for years if you end up on page one of Google. So it really becomes almost like a passive effort, with a little bit of keyword research, you could literally be getting waves of traffic to just one article, to just one keyword in one article for many years to come. Imagine that traffic times many keywords for just one article. So it really is worth a blogger's while to learn keyword research, which, as I say, is not that complex. It's just a myth, and implement the optimization once they find their keyword.
I love that. I love what you said about, first of all, being a habit. So it really is, you just have to build that habit of learn how to do it, and then you build it into a habit. And then I love what you said about it being passive. I think you're absolutely right. It's something that we put off learning sometimes as newer bloggers because we think, oh, we'll do that later. But if you do it up front, then passively it can be working for you in the background. You're absolutely right.
Sure.
I love that. Well, what would you say is the most important thing that bloggers or anybody trying to run a website needs to know about SEO?
Well, it's a simple answer and really surprising to me, but you need enough search volume to make composing that post worth your time. There have been many studies done on how long it takes a blogger to compose an article from start to finish, the research, the promotion, the promotion after it's published. And 4 hours seems pretty standard. I've never heard of anybody doing it in more than 4 hours, but many bloggers have reported it takes 4 hours for one article from start to finish. Well, you have to make it worth your while. I've seen bloggers gloat on Twitter that their article is on page 1, position 1 of Google. But when I look up the keyword that their article is focused on, and I know because the keyword is in the URL of their post. So when I look up that keyword, I find it's getting maybe 10 hits from Google in a month. 10? I mean, for 4 hours worth your effort. And in blogging, or jargon, that's called ROI. You want a return on your time invested. If you're going to put 4 hours into an article, make it worth your time. 10 page views, that's it. I mean, I'm not trying to sound, conceited, but if I'm going to spend personally as a blogger, if I'm going to spend 4 hours of my life on an endeavor, I certainly want that effort to come back to me. And so I don't know, what that magic number is. I would advise new bloggers, yes, they want to go for the smaller numbers of search traffic, because there isn't going to be a lot of competition for those low numbers of search traffic, and numbers add up. So 10 plus 10 plus 10, plus all those articles that they're putting out over time will get them traffic. But I've been at this for 7 years. So I would hope that I could try to compete for a keyword that generates more than 10 queries a month. And so rather than come up with a definitive number, I would say it's exponential. I mean, it all depends on your experience level. Definitely new bloggers, their first year before Google knows who they are and what their niche is, definitely go for the smaller numbers. But the longer you go, try to make it worth your time. And so that is my answer, is that keyword research is great and optimization is very important, but make sure the search volume is there so that it's worth your efforts.
I love that. Yeah, I think especially when we're just starting out with SEO, it's so easy to see like something that we think we can rank for and we just go for it. But you're absolutely right. If you're only going to get 10 clicks out of that, or even less per month, maybe as a brand new blogger, that is something that still would be worthwhile. But you're absolutely right. When you have some kind of domain authority built up, why spend that much time if you're not even going to get that many clicks out of it? That's a really good perspective. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So what exactly is your process for incorporating SEO into your blog posts? I know you've mentioned a keyword research tool that you use, but I'd love to know specifically like what your process looks like.
Well, I do start with the keyword research tool. I don't start, so like I want to compose a blog post, right? And this is before the keyword research. So I need an idea that I'm knowledgeable about, that I'm interested in, and that I think I can rank for. So I use actually 2 SEO tools because it's that important to my workflow. So I generally will start with the Ahrefs Content Explorer, and I see what my competition is writing about that I think I can rank for. And so that's often how I find my ideas. And I do this like twice a year. So I batch research. And so I come up with all these ideas that I'm interested in and that I think I can beat my online competition for. Then I take that keyword and I go to KW Finder. I just find KW Finder is easier for me than Ahrefs. So even though I do pay for Ahrefs, the only function I don't use for the most part is really their keyword research tool. I prefer the KW Finder keyword research tool. And so I put the idea I get from Ahrefs into the KW Finder keyword research tool. And that's when I do the research. And as I said, I want to see search volume, monthly search volume. I want to see the level of difficulty, and I want to see the online competition that's writing for that term. And KW Finder tells you that with domain authority ranking. So the search volume, again, that's, subjective. I certainly, personally, 100 searches a month is my bare minimum. But again, that's just one keyword. You know, hopefully the post will rank and I'll end up getting traffic for many keywords from the article, but I certainly wouldn't attempt that for under 100 searches a month. And so after I look at search volume, I do look at level of difficulty, and KW Finder is very easy. It's like driving a car. Green is go for it. It's easy, you can rank for this, go for it. Jeff Bullis put out something in an article I read recently. He says you don't want to try for a keyword level difficulty higher than 30. KW Finder, you're still in the green through 29. So he and I are kind of on the same mind on this. I want that number to be in the green, 29 or easier. Bullis, who of course is an expert blogger, he's a master blogger. He says no more than 30. So he and I are comparable. We're just one number off. So for bloggers listening, if they just feel lost, this is very formulaic. You know, you want the search volume to be worth your while. Then you're going to look at the level of difficulty. Green means go. If it's green, go for it. But at the same time, you want to look and see who else is on that road with you, to use that car analogy. Who else is writing about the topic? So if I find that number is in the green, but the big dogs in the blogosphere are writing about the term, let's say Forbes or entrepreneur, or I'm gonna go away. I'm not gonna try to, or even Ahrefs, who of course is a higher DA than I do. This is Ahrefs. I'm not going to take on the big dogs, of the blogging world. I'm a solopreneur here, and they have these companies. So you have to look at all of this. And I know that's hard. As soon as I'm at Ahrefs, I begin with that content explorer. Oh, I can write about this, and I know about this, and I'm excited and interested in, you just want to sit down at the word processor or at WordPress or at Google Docs, wherever you write your draft. You just want to start writing, but you can't. You have to pull the reins and look at all these other metrics. And so that's what I'm saying to do. I'm saying, check all your boxes, only when, yes, the search volume is going to make it worth your while. The level of difficulty is going to be in the green, 29 or easier if you're using KW Finder. And the domain authority rankings of the other bloggers writing about this topic are your domain authority ranking or easier. Yes, go for it. But you can tell I'm hesitating here, right? Because what if somebody is just a little higher than you with the domain authority ranking, and they're on page 1, but their information is years old. They wrote about this topic in 2018, and you're writing about this topic in 2022. Google likes fresh content. Google might put you ahead of that blogger who has more influence in the blogging world with a higher DA than you do, because your information is going to be more current than their information. So unfortunately, it isn't, this lock, oh, they got a higher DA than you, walk away. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's lots to consider. Maybe if their information is old, relatively speaking, try it and see. And then if you don't rank, maybe next time, then or if you don't rank, you maybe want to update it and put the current year in the headline to show Google, hey, my information is more current than anybody else on your page 1.
I love that. That gives us hope, I feel like, when
absolutely, there's hope. Absolutely. And here we've kind of dived into sort of a sidebar. Updating your content once it's published. Definitely update the content. Google wants fresh content. So when you update, add a paragraph and title, at the beginning of the paragraph, right? Updated information. And some people actually do the date. I do the month and the year. So that Google, and even in the meta description, updated 2022, so that Google knows, readers know that my information is updated.
I love that. When you do that, do you, in assuming that you're in WordPress, do you also change the publication date? I know there's like a place on the side where you can change the date the post was published. Do you change that as well when you update it, or just add the updated in the meta description and in the
I don't publish the post again. I know other bloggers do, because Google does crawl your newest content, but I try to update near the beginning of the post, because that is where the bots crawl, near the beginning of your article. So, and I forgot something. So I'll put 2022 in the headline.
Okay.
And the year just changed. So I spent a lot of time putting 2022 in the headline, in the meta description. I hear there's a plugin that will do it for you, but I don't use the plugin because I want to make sure Google knows I am updating my content. So I'll add new information. I'll add updated January 2022. So I'm going to put that in 3 places. I'm going to put that in my headline. I'm going to put it in the meta description, and that's the SEO title. Google has to see this. That's the SEO title, as well as the headline. Because the headline, the readers are going to see its new content. The SEO title, Google will see its new content. So make sure the SEO title, the meta description, and if I do have new information, I will put it in near the beginning of the article with the words updated, the month and the year. And updated is usually all in capitals and bold. So yeah, there's absolutely hope. Bloggers spend a lot of time on their posts. Use a keyword checker to see where your keywords fall. SERP robot is free, and you can check 5 keywords at a time. It's SERP, S-E-R-P robot. I've actually reviewed it, and I can provide a link if you'd like. You could put it in your notes, your description, if that's helpful to the viewers. But it's fast, it's free, it's easy, and it will tell you where your keywords are ranking, and 5 at a time. I mean, that's good. So if you see that your keywords are, the bottom of page 1, the top of, especially the top of page 2, definitely update the content. Oh, can I give another tip?
Absolutely. These are so good. I'd love for you to keep
Thank you. So I heard a while back, I'm a big fan of, I'll name drop, Karan Singh. His podcast is called SEO Sing, so is his video on YouTube. And he said a person is more likely to click the headline if the blogger puts brackets in the headline. And I find that's true. Not parentheses, brackets.
Interesting.
And my observation is it's true that when I go back and I update the content and I'm putting 2022 in that headline, if I don't have brackets there, I add them, and I find that my SERP position does go up.
Wow, that's a fun little tip, because I do use parentheses a lot in my posts, but it's funny. I was just thinking back, I know some email marketers that do brackets in their subject lines, and I always click on those faster than other emails sometimes. I don't know why. I don't know if there's like a mental thing going on.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
It is interesting.
So that must be kind of the same thing that's working with SEO, using those brackets. People just kind of are drawn to it, I guess.
Fun fact. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. And actually, along the same lines of that fun fact, I know when I was talking to you earlier, you mentioned to me about video marketing being a really important part of SEO.
Yeah.
And that's something that was new to me, just like the brackets thing. It seems like one of those little hacks. So
yes.
I'd love for you to explain more about that. How can we as bloggers use video marketing to improve our SEO rankings?
Okay, again, I want to preface this by saying it's really easy. And I know, just like with SEO, bloggers are so busy and the content and the research and the promotion, and now they have to do one more thing and make a video. There are, can I recommend a tool that will make video making very, very easy? Lumen 5, Lumen 5, no space, Lumen 5. All you do is you paste your URL to your blog post into their tool, and they make a video for you, and it's a free service.
Whoa.
Even the music, the copyright free music is there for you. The media is there. I mean, they do everything for you.
And it's free? The whole thing?
Free. It's a free service.
Wow.
So if you're, if a blogger is feeling overwhelmed, like, oh, they just can't do one more thing, like make a video, or they're not tech savvy, or they're not creative, Lumen 5 will do it. So it's time saving and they do everything. But, if we're doing Google hacks, and today we are talking how to boost blog traffic, Google will send you traffic for years. So, and these tips are easy. So if I'm busy, I go to Lumen 5 and I put in the URL to my blog post. Lumen 5 makes the video. And of course I preview it. If I like it, I upload it to YouTube. So I take my link to my video. I have a YouTube channel. But you don't even have to make them public. You just need, if you don't want to grow your YouTube, audience, you just need that YouTube URL. And I mean, WordPress will allow you to post other videos, but you need a tool. So I use YouTube. I have a YouTube channel anyway. So I upload to YouTube. I get the YouTube URL. I go into the blog post. Bam, I paste the URL. I now have a video. But let's talk about why this is very important, okay? Google wants you to have a variety of media in your article. So most bloggers know from day one, they need a dominant image. Many bloggers will use Canva. They'll get a dominant image complete with a graphic and text, and they put it at the top of their blog post. But Google wants a variety of media, not just one image. So you want to have other static images, for example, screenshots. But again, you're still talking static image. Video, many people consume information from watching videos, not just reading text. So you're accomplishing so much by putting in that video. Number one, you're making your visitors happy, because some people just prefer to consume information by watching a video instead of doing the reading. Number two, you're making Google happy because you're putting in the variety of media it wants in your blog posts. And for so many years, I thought it has to be my video. I have to make a video in order to get one in my article, but it's not even true. You can use another video that is relevant, that you think will support your content. YouTube will give the source credit. So you're making some other video maker very, very happy by linking to their video. And you've checked off that box that says, yeah, you've got to have a variety of media. So you don't even have to make your own video. You can use another. So again, you're making the visitors happy, you're making Google happy, and you're making yourself happy, because bounce rate is going to improve. Bounce rate, how fast are people going to bounce off your blog and go to somebody else's? Is that going to tell Google you have a sub-quality article because somebody bounced away so fast? How long is the video? I made a video over the weekend that was actually on the short side for me, and it was almost 5 minutes long. So if somebody's going to sit there for 5 minutes watching my video, that's longer than it would take them to scroll through my subheads to see if there's something there of interest to them. So again, your search traffic's going to improve, your bounce rate's going to get better, which means the SEO is going to get better, your traffic's going to get better, and visitors who like to learn by watching video will return, share your articles. Bing, 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 you've checked off all these boxes. which is one video. And as I said, you don't even have to make it. Lumen 5 can make it for you, or use somebody else's video at YouTube.
I love that. And another benefit I thought of if you use somebody else's video is a lot of times people, when they know you're featuring their content, they want to share it. So they'll probably share your content with their audience too. So it's like another benefit. Like there's no reason to not add a video to your blog post.
Absolutely. Good point.
I love that. Would you know if you use the same video in every blog post, or like, let's say you use the same video in 10 different posts, do you know if that kind of dilutes the link juice, or if that makes Google not as happy? Or do you think
I wouldn't think that's the case at all. Okay. And as a matter of fact, YouTube analytics tells me where people are finding my videos. And many times, often I'll see mostly blogging, my blog.
Love
that
it.
people are, I mean, this is proof that people are watching the videos that I put in my articles.
I love that. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that tip. Because like you said, it's so easy for bloggers. You can have Lumen 5 make it. You can use someone else's content. Like you don't have to learn to be a YouTuber or a content creator to use this hack. So I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. So let's see, we already talked about, that was my next question, was how can we use video marketing without getting overwhelmed? So you answered that very well. Is there anything else that you'd like to add to this interview that we didn't discuss, or any other like SEO tips or video marketing tips you can think of?
Well, I think I wanted to piggyback on the video creation that we just spoke about. So if you do post a video to YouTube, whether Lumen 5 makes it or you make it, through some other tool, if you do post a video to YouTube and you make that link public, you now have more promotional, you have now more material to promote. You're now a better marketer, because instead of just promoting your blog post articles on social media or wherever you do promote your blog post articles, you now double the material you have to promote. So that's twice as much promotion for you. That's twice as much exposure for you. So instead of just promoting your on Twitter, let's say, your blog post, you're now going to promote the same information in your blog post and from your YouTube video. So you now have twice as many opportunities for people to find you. So this is totally extending your reach. Don't just make the video, go bam, paste it into your article and say, done with that. Capitalize on what you've done. Buffer, since I'm name dropping tools today that I use, Buffer is a free service that will let you put in a queue up to 10 promotions at a time. And that's ample for me. In all these years, I've never needed more than that. So I will take the blog post and can I drop another tool?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I don't want to overwhelm your viewers, right? So missing letter, let me spell that for you. MISSING, but it's like the letter's missing. So it's missing letter, LETTR. They will make your promotional content for you.
Oh, wow. Is that a free service?
And it's free. Talk about time saving. And they make a lot. So I'll take 10 and, in one day, because Buffer only lets me put on 10, and I'll use it to promote I don't even have to think of what to say in my promotional content. Missing letter writes it for me.
That's amazing. I'm going to have to try that.
Right. So you've got 10 of those, and another day you could do 10 more and 10 more. Missing letter makes a lot. But then you also want to promote your YouTube video. And Twitter, because I like to promote my videos on Twitter, they have a whole YouTube community and they promote each other's videos. Instagram has a small YouTuber community and they promote each other's videos, and other social media does as well. Reddit, I believe. So you are getting so much more exposure with one video. You're really extending your reach but with just one video.
I love that. You know, I've heard some people say blogging is dead, which could not be further from the truth. But they say that video marketing is the new blogging, or they say that videos are where it's at, or you can't get anywhere without video. So it's really interesting to see that you can incorporate video marketing into blogging to boost your blogging without having to give up on that and become a YouTuber, you know, or become a video person. You can just create some videos and, like you said, use that to boost your own blog and just kind of boost your audience in general.
Blogging is definitely not dead, but
Yeah.
I will admit it is evolving. And I've shared some of the ways it's evolving. You know, once upon a time, it was okay to just put in that dominant image at the top, you know, go to Canva, make your dominant image, and you're done with the images. No more. No more will that suffice.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And it really isn't, I mean, if you think about it, it really isn't doing the visitors a service. I mean, like a lot of my posts, I'm discussing something they need to see, and I have to have those screenshots there, or they won't understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And same with YouTube videos, that it really helps your audience too. It's not just that you're throwing something in there to make Google happy, but you're really trying to help your audience too. You're trying to help them understand what you're writing about and help them get engaged.
And not to sound cheesy, but I mean, that's really our point of being bloggers. We're trying to help people by giving them this information. And now we know the best way to do it with a variety of media.
I love that. Yeah, it makes sense. That's why Google wants to see that, because they know that's what's going to help the reader the most.
You know, and of course there's more. They want to be thorough. They want to try to answer every question they can think of about the topic. And that way their readers, you know, the visitors will be content that they got a thorough guide to this topic. And they, you know, we talked about them bouncing away and finding more thorough information elsewhere. You give them the thorough information. Don't leave them wanting more, that they're going to go to somebody else's blog and share that article or sign up for that email list.
I love it. That's a really good perspective. Do you have any more tips that you'd like to add? Those were all really good.
I think we covered a lot. We offered free tools, free services that are going to save bloggers time, as well as make them more well-rounded bloggers by turning them not just into content creators of information, but video marketers. So by following these tips, they're going to be better at search engine marketing because they're going to follow these SEO hacks we shared today. They're going to be better at content marketing because we shared a lot of content tips, and they're going to be better at video marketing because we shared how they can be video marketers, all without needing a budget, because I shared many free tools and services, and really by saving time. A lot of what I shared saves them time and doesn't cost them time.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Janice. That was so helpful. And do you want to share the free gift that you're offering as well?
Sure, absolutely. For watching my presentation, we are offering a free blog critique, right? And is that, you would know, Britt, is that randomly chosen, or how do they apply for that?
We will leave a link. How about you and I can discuss how we want to do that?
Sure,
and
of course.
We'll just create a page for that. So I'll leave the link with this video, and then everybody watching can just go click on that link, and then you can enter to win that.
The link will take them to many of my blog coaching services. I have social media marketing services. I have search engine marketing services. Anything they feel they need help with, if they win, they get 15 minutes of free coaching. If they simply want a blog critique, I'll be happy to look over their blog and give them my opinion. 15 minutes of whatever service they want.
I love that. Thank you so much. That's so generous of you, Janice. And
my pleasure.
I just appreciate you taking the time to share all that with us. That was so valuable. And I can't wait to implement some of the things you mentioned and check out the tools like Lumen5, Missing Letter, SERP Robot. I'm so excited to dive into these. So thank you for sharing everything.
Great. My pleasure. Thank you for having me today. It was fun.